Why does it seem when you jump into a business that seems like the tide is going out? Welcome to Streams. On this edition of Streams, I'll be sharing with you how to invest like a pro by increasing your financial vocabulary. We don't just increase in knowledge with time, we increase in knowledge with information. And this year, I want you to increase your financial vocabulary so that when they mention certain things, you know when is a good time to jump into the market. You can see what the market is doing. You can know what smart investors are doing, and you can pattern or model what they are doing, and you can take advantage of it. I was in the US in 2008, for example, and the financial recession was just building up. And I didn't understand we're in sessions. I was in Virginia for a summer school. And in sessions, people were discussing, oh, the impact of this on my mortgage, the impact of this on my 401k and all manners of things. And my stocks, I missed it because I didn't fully get the impact of what was coming. And when I returned to Nigeria, it was like nobody knew what was going on. I saw life continued as usual. But about 6 months later, it was like a thunder and lightning situation that before we felt the impact around the world, other parts of the world had actually positioned themselves in order to begin to do, take measures. So increase your own financial vocabulary this year so as to make you smarter with your money so that your hand money can be utilized very well. I'll be sharing 4 things I want you to master this year by increasing your financial vocabulary. Number 1 is QE. You hear it a lot. It was used a lot during the 07-08 financial recession. QE, quantitative easing, simply put, money printing. These are ways by which government try to stimulate the economy by pumping money into the market by buying up private stocks and all manners of equities or assets on a long-term basis in order to shore up the market so that the market will not just, totally collapse. And so many countries have done it, but if you do it without something backing it up, I've seen countries that just printed money without anything backing it up, and it just creates a kind of a bubble or massive devaluation of their currency and inflation at the same time. Why you need to understand that when you see a country or your economy printing money without control, you need to restructure your own investment so as to put your investment in safe havens. If you stay too long in an economy that prints money endlessly, well, America is an exception because everybody is buying dollars. But for countries that do not have that level of demand on their currency and the productivity of that country cannot sustain it, continuously printing money, that is borrowing money in the future against the income of the country, and the people are poorer for it. As you could see in Argentina, as you could see in Venezuela, as you could see in Zimbabwe, and Nigeria is feeling that pinch as well. Number 2 is M2 money supply. When you print a lot of money, there will be a lot of supply. But M2 actually measures all the total money supply in an economy globally. So it could be within a country or globally. M2 money supply also captures the M1, but the M2 captures the cash available in an economy, the deposit, the checking account, and all the CDs in an economy. So when you see the level of money supply, it gives you indication about the liquidity, the credit that will be available in that economy. And when there's a reverse of mopping up, all of these things helps you to position. You know when to hold cash, you know when to borrow at a good rate, and then use that to leverage or to scale your market or your business. These are indices that the rich look at or smart investors look at before they part with their money. And number 3, because when you have QE, then you have a lot of money supply. What is on the way is inflation. You need to understand how inflation impacts your investment. Inflation determines interest rate, whether mortgage, the rate you borrow things. Inflation is very key And what do you pay attention to? Whether it's within the target range of the 2% of the global OECD country of Western economies. There's a 2% target range for inflation. If it's outside that target, know that if there will be an intervention or interest rate to be adjusted, and you will know when to sit on cash or when to, move your investment into certain other asset categories. Because when there's high inflation, risk on asset will be devaluing, and you need to, of course, research more into this. But understanding the impact of this, because before I just invest without knowing all these indicators, but by you understanding, okay, what's the impact of quantitative easing that this country is practicing, total money supply in this economy, and inflation. What are they? Because these are the things that determines the boom and the bust of an economy, or they call it correction in some cases. And finally, is the Fed chair. You need to pay attention to what this guy says is the Federal Reserve chair. It's like the Central Bank of America. You need to pay attention to what he says at every of their FOMC meetings, because what he says determines what happens in UK, Bank of England, and affects all the other CBN governors around the world, including China, Japan. So what this guy says in America, the Fed chair, affects every person and affects monetary policy across the world. So these are sensitive things. Take, for example, the recent inflation we just went through is tapering off now. But when he saw the sign, he started proposing that there must be interest rate to combat inflation. And some people were still running in, taking, decision at variance with the position of the Fed chair. I've seen how his decisions affects the crypto market, the stock market. So understanding what these languages mean and what the decision of institutions like this, like the Fed chair, and what the impact of a QE, M2 money supply, and inflation means for your investment is very important. As we're having a change of government in America now, there might be a new set of QE as was done during COVID. What will be the impact of that on your investment decisions? You need to know these things. We don't increase in knowledge with time. We increase in knowledge with information, and you must increase your own financial vocabulary for you to be smarter with your money. If you want to learn more about investment and entrepreneurship, there's a link on this side, subscribe, and I'll look forward to seeing you on the next edition of Streams. There are more material for you to skill up, and I'll see you. Bye for now.